again. So welcome back to our channel. Today we are talking about reject cheap dopamine. That basically is to mean that we actually have to be a people who avoid the quick fixes in life, right? It is actually easier to actually get stuck up in the rut or the cycle of constantly chasing after cheap thrills, right? Like today there is this thrill, there is this trend. We actually have to be able to look at the long-term effects, the long-term purposes and the reasons why, for example, we live. So we actually have to get out of this cheap dopamine of everything. There is a new trend, there is a new thing that we actually have to, or there is something that is happening. For example, it is always staying on your social media. So in actual sense, it is part of life. It is part of a process for you to actually be able to get stuck out of a rat, that cycle, right? Yes, and it is very easy to actually find, so that then at the end of the day you can actually find fulfillment. You can find actually a satisfying, a long-term satisfying something that you actually do, instead of actually dwelling on this cycle of the cheap dopamine or instant gratification, right? The first thing that you actually need to know, number one, we'll talk about sometimes just sit back, step back and do an analysis. Look at the things that really matter to you. What is the purpose? What is the objective in actual sense? For example, if you're always on social media, you're looking at your notifications, what at the end of the day will you have achieved? So it is important sometimes to actually disconnect and look at what really matters to you. What really matters to you, right? Is it family? Is it your business? Is it your career? Is it learning new skills? So in actual sense, you can see, first actually take a back step and do a self-analysis. Look at what really matters in life. Ask that question: what really matters? What is purpose? What is my purpose? What makes me, what gives me long-term fulfillment, for example, right? Then number two is that it is very important to actually understand never to give up, right? Understand that it's never too late. It's never too late for you to reconnect, right? Maybe, for example, you feel like getting back on track is actually quite a challenge, or for example, time has gone too much. Maybe you're in business, maybe you're in college, and you're feeling like maybe you're in your fourth year, your degree, things have really, you have gotten out of the path, right? So it is actually important for you to look at it and understand that at the end of the day, what really is useful, reconnect, realign with your purpose, right? It is never too late. That's what I'm saying. Then number three, it is important to, so number three, we'll say, is actually invest time and energy into things that really align to what you value. Into what are those things that actually bring purpose to you? What are those things that bring long-term fulfillment? Is it your family? Is it your business, career? What exactly aligns to your purpose and gives you long-term fulfillment? That is actually not necessarily a distraction or a one-time gratification, right? If you look at your long-term goals, you have set particular goals. There are those that are short, there are those that are course long. How is it that they actually influence you? You actually have to ask yourself, what are those things, right? For example, if it is in terms of your health, how do you invest time in terms of making sure, for example, you're healthy? Like, for example, actually go do some exercise, right? Or for example, even take a walk, or for example, even learn high value skills. Yes, that you know at the end of the day they are actually useful in terms of your progress and in terms of your purpose. So you actually have to be able to exercise diligence into knowing what is really useful and what actually gives you long-term fulfillment. Then, of course, clearly number two, we'll talk about it is very important in life to actually, in this modern day, it is very easy in this modern day, for example, to actually be distracted, to be bombarded by the endless distractions, right? Because there are so many, especially in this era of social media, it is very easy for anybody to actually be distracted, right? For example, just looking up at your social media notifications, some of these things actually at the fingertips, right? So it is very easy to actually fall into the trap of seeking those temporary high to numb that gives you such an emptiness within, right? It's very easy for you to actually be involved or revolve your life around the happenings or the buzz of the cheap dopamine. That of course eventually what will happen, it will fade away, right? Because it is basically instant. It is one day, it is at this particular moment. Then you realize that the goal that you should have done, maybe it is your business or it is a project or a contract or whatever it is that, or even a paper that you should have written, you have not done, right? Because you actually allowed distraction. So it is very important then. So we are saying the next one is being alert. Being alert. What are those things that actually distract you away? What are those things that actually give you instant gratifications? And then confront them and then deal with them. It is very important therefore to deal with this fundamental truth. The distractions are there on a daily basis. Yes, they are gratifying for the moment, but in the long term, you can actually find fulfillment in these fleeting pleasures. Yes, they are just passing away. They are just fleeting pleasures of the moment. But in essence, find reason, for example, to pursue deeper things that are meaningful to you, that are meaningful in terms of pursuing your purpose. So in actual sense, you can actually see you actually need to identify what they are and actually deal with them, and consistently and diligently and consciously actually avoid, for example, looking up at your social media notifications, looking up at whatever, or those things that actually distract you, or just go into your colleagues' office to actually have a conversation, just office politics. So in actual sense, you can see you have to be able to identify that. Then number 5, you have to challenge yourself. You have to challenge yourself. Look within. What are those things, for example, that for you actually you feel fulfillment when you do that? When you look at yourself within, that it can actually also give you the traits, the energy for you to even go out and carry out your purpose. And you know that these distractions will not fulfill your purpose. They will not be able to help you come out of this cycle of quick fixes, right? So it is important that then at the end of the day to dig within yourself, right? Dig within yourself and find what are your passions, what are your values, for example, what are your dreams, those things that are buried inside you, what are your visions, for example, right? So that then at the end of the day, of course, which are buried within the noise of everyday distractions, right? You have to be able to actually silence the daily distractions and find chapters and find those things that are within you that, of course, will help you to actually embrace the path or the journey of rediscovery and the journey of purpose, right? Then we go to number 6. Number 6 is basically embrace the essence, that you find courage. The courage to actually pursue the and having an unwavering determination in making your path without distractions. There are going to be a lot of distractions. There are going to be things that it is very easy for you to succumb to, right? I'm sure, for example, if your friend tells you, hey, let's, for example, go for coffee, or let's, for example, go and gossip, let's go and look at, or for example, you actually, you just decide to actually go and look up at your social media, and at the end of the day, your social media, for example, some of the platforms, is not because you're earning from them, you just want to be able to follow a trend. So you actually have to be able to be somebody determined to actually stay in the path of purpose without unwavering, right? Yeah, so distractions are very important for you to actually do avoid. Then you talk about number 7, you have to agree that you don't succumb. Don't let yourself be determined not to succumb to the urge of actually getting those instant thrills, right? Don't succumb. It might seem a bit of tricky, right? But it's actually determination. You have everything, of course. You have to be very determined. You have to actually choose a particular path. Instead, you actually have to, instead of look at those instant thrills, the most important thing for you to actually do is embark on a journey of purpose, and that, of course, what will happen is your purpose will actually keep burning brightly, right? Then you talk about number 8. Number 8 is basically defy status quo, right? Defy, go outside the norm. go the path that is uncharted, the path that is less taken, the narrow path. Of course, it is challenging, and you will need to actually think about it, and it's not easy. Yeah, it's not going to be a walk in the park, but that is the way it is. You actually have to go out and defy status quo, right? Because everybody else is looking like this, everybody else is on social media, everybody is attending this particular party, everybody else. No, status quo is difficult, and sometimes you actually seem like you are an introvert, or you're isolated. But sometimes you have to make tough choices. All right, because in the end, what happens is, um, really, it's not about the fleeting highs that actually define us, but in depth, in actual sense, you will see it is the commitment to actually live an authentic and purposeful life, right? That is very important. Us living an authentic and purposeful life is what is really important. So, guys, please do subscribe to our channel, like our pages. We love you guys.